Hi students, today I would like to discuss about the generations of computers. The generation of computers mainly refers to the specific improvements in computer technology with respect to the time. Say in 1946, electronic pathways called circuits. So these were developed to perform the counting. So it replaced the gates and other mechanical parts using for counting in previous computing machines. Like this, in each new generations, the circuits become smaller and more advanced than the previous generation circuits. The miniaturization helped increasing the speed, memory, and also the power of the computers. So thereby, there are 5 generations of computers which we are discussing today. The first one is first generation. So this can also be called as vacuum tube if you take the 1940 to 1956 period. The first generation computers were totally vacuum. And also we can say that as thermionic value-based machines. So these computers used vacuum tubes for circuitry and also for the magnetic drums especially for memory. So the input was based on punched cards and also the paper tapes, and outputs was in the form of printouts. So now the examples, if you take here, the best examples are nothing but electronic, numerical, integrator and computer. And the second one is EDVAC, which is nothing but it is electronic, discrete variable, automatic computer. The last one is nothing but say UniVAC. So here this is nothing but this universal automatic computer. If you see the characteristics of the first generation of computers, these computers are mainly based on vacuum tube technology. Just observe this picture, you can understand what is vacuum tube. So these were the fastest computing devices according to their time, which is nothing but is 1940 up to 1956. These are the computers which are very fast. So these computers were very large and required a lot of space for installation. So these were, you can say it is non-portable and also very slow equipments nowadays. So this, if you can observe here, this is nothing but this is the first generation computers where it occupies the whole room. Next, come to the second generation, where we can also call this as transistors generation for the period of 1959 up to 1965. So here, a transistor is made up of a semiconductor material like germanium and silicon. So it usually had 3 LEDs. If you observe this picture, you can understand it is having 3 LEDs here and perform electrically functions like voltage, current, and power amplification with the low power requirements. So computers become smaller, can also be faster, cheaper, and energy efficient and more reliable than their predecessors, what we have seen in the first generation. Come to here, the magnetic cores. So the magnetic cores we are used as a primary memory and also for magnetic disk as a secondary storage devices. So examples, if you take here the PDF-8 is nothing but it is a 12-bit mini computers family. And also you heard that IBM 1401 and also IBM 7090. These are all the examples of the second generation computers. And if you see the characteristics of the second generation of the computers, these machines were based on the transistor technology. So of course, these are very smaller as compared to the first generation computers. And these were, I can say it's more portable and generated less amount of heat. So this I can say here. So the first generation computers, they have covered the whole room. Now here you can see that is somewhat lesser size than the first generation computers. Come to the third generation. The third generation computers can also be called as integrated circuit generation for the period of 1965 to 1975. If you see the development of the integrated circuits, which was the character of the third generation computer. This also called as ICs, an integrated circuit, mainly consisting of single chip with many components such as transistors and resistors fabricated on it. Just observe this picture. Integrated circuits, that is ICs, are replaced by several individually wired transistors, and this development made computer very smaller in size and also reliable and also efficient. So instead of punched cards and printouts, so users interacted with the third generation computers through keyboards and monitors and interfaced with operating systems. The examples of this third generation, I can say NCR 395 and also B6500. And if you see the characteristics of third generation computers, so these computers are mainly based on integrated circuit technology. So these were able to reduce computational time from microseconds to nanoseconds. So the extensive use of high-level language becomes possible with the help of the third generation computers. So this is the third generation computer. Next, go to the fourth generation computers called microprocessors. So if you take the period of this fourth generation, it is 1971 to 1980. The technology of this generation was still based on the integrated circuits, what we have seen in the third generation. So these have been made readily available to use because of the development of the microprocessor. So the fourth generation computers leads to an era of large scale integration, which is called LSI, and to very large scale integration that is called VLSI technology. So this LSI technology mainly allows thousands of transistors to be constructed on one small slice of silicon material, whereas VLSI squeezed hundreds of thousands of components. And if you see this ultra means, it is nothing but it is large scale integration, which is nothing but it's ULSI, increase that number into millions. The fourth generation computers becomes more powerful and also compact, reliable and also affordable. If you take the examples of this fourth generation, it is Apple II and also Atari 8800 and also Cray 1. If you see the characteristics of the fourth generation computers, this fourth generation computers are microprocessor based systems. So of course, these are very small compared with the previous 1, 2, 3 generations. And also interconnection of computers leads to better communication and also resource sharing. So you just go with this is nothing but where we have used here in this technology. Next, move on to here. This is the example of the 4th generation computer. And next, move on to the 5th generation computers, where we have taken the instance of AI, artificial intelligence, and also ULSI. So that is, we have take the period of from 1982 till date. So these computers have been utilized since 1980s and continues to be used now. So this is the present and the future of the computer world. So if you see the definition aspect of this generation is artificial intelligence. So the use of parallel processing and superconductors are making this as a reality and provide a lot of scope for the future. So 5th generation computers uses ultra large scale integration technology. So these are the most recent sophisticated computers like C, C++, Java, .NET, and more programming languages are used. Examples, if you take, the first one is IBM, Pentium, desktop, laptop, notebook, ultrabook, and so on. If you see the characteristics of the 5th generation, so these used ULSI and also AI technology. So I can say it uses advanced computing technologies. So this is the best example of the 5th generation computer. So now this is the 1st generation computer. This is the 2nd generation computer. This is the 3rd generation computer. This is the 4th generation computer. And this is the 5th generation computer. And if you see the computer types, so the types of computers exist with a different widely in size and also cost and computational power and the intention of the usage. The first one is a personal computer, can also be called as desktop computers. So this usually found at homes, schools, and also the business offices. Come to the second one is a portable notebook computers. So this is nothing but a compact version of PC, which all of these components packaged into a single unit the size of thin briefcase. Next, come to the workstations. So workstations is nothing but it's a high resolution graphics input output capabilities and used in engineering applications, sometimes in interactive design works. Next, move on to the enterprise system servers, and this is mainly used for business data processing in medium to large corporations that requires much more computing power and storage capacity than workstations. Next, computers is supercomputers contain sizable database storage units, and these are all capable of handling large volumes of requests to access the data. Last but not least is handheld computers. It's nothing but a portable computer that is small enough to held in one's hand. And although extremely convenient to carry, handheld computers have not replaced notebook computers because of their small keyboards and screens. So handheld computers are also used as PDAs, laptops, and also pocket computers. So that's all the generation of the computers. Thank you.